Welcome in. Let that feeling start. Let's get sentience around here. Let's get in it. Let's get in it. Let's get into it. It's good to have you guys all here today in our lab, right? Our home away from home, right? A place where we all convene here on Rumble, YouTube. Thank you both for. So if any of you guys are Rumble listeners, you'll find me on Rumble. I have a channel adding. Thanks for the. I noticed that it's starting to move a little bit with new members following my channel. I got content, and then I had to figure it out how it works, but it's awesome. But thank you guys all for being here. Yeah, we're gonna get into it today. This is definitely connected vibe, and it's really declassified psychic technology. We're gonna get into it and talk about it. Declassified psychic technology. When something is declassified, meaning this is the government's take on it. This is their experiments with it. They opened up that we're going to see some of this today. So let's get into it. I'm not going to take too long to get into it. I got a video to share with it. It's going to explain it. My man, high five to Mr. Seffer, Southern Cal guy. Definitely good videos. Actually, following up with another one that he made that goes with this one. It's going to be really good. After this one, that will connect them together. Then we're going to give up something I have did and got into after that, and it's unity consciousness / versus the hive mind, and we're going to get into that. But that'll be the next 2 and 3. That'll be the third one. But we're going to get into psychic technology that was declassified. Let's get into it. Oh yeah, let's make this bigger. Let's get into it. I get tired of all those commercials they put up there, and always trying to sell you something, always in the commercials, and I'm seeing some sexy girl sitting there, and I'm like, what is she doing? And I'm like, oh my God. Nothing wrong with sexy women, but just definitely stuff to put a distraction, but let's not distract anymore. Let's go ahead and get into this one. Remember, this is about declassified psychic technology. And it's not new, meaning this goes back a little ways. See, everything that we've been kind of programmed to believe, and this is why I keep telling y'all, the technology that we use, neither is the highest technology that could be used for the benefit of raising of consciousness and energy healing, which is out there. Everything's basic 80% war, and what we get is the crumbs, the spilt cereal off the side. And it spilled out of the box, and you had to take your hand or a card or something and scrape it into the bowl. It's not the best of the technologies. What I'm saying is you're getting the scraps off the master's table. You're not in the inner club, and that's a mindset we have to bring. The technology given to us isn't the top notch. I mean, they're telling us they're going on the moon, but my GPS can't get me into an apartment complex to the right place. Or a condo place. Come on now. We know better than a lot of stuff we're told. Let's act like it. And I'm talking to me too.
Psychic ability that allows someone to influence a physical system without physical interaction. The word comes from the ancient Greek words tele, meaning far off or at a distance, and kinesis, meaning motion. Experiments to prove the existence of this and other psychic phenomena have been suppressed in the West, especially after World War II. But declassified documents reveal that research conducted by German, Russian, and other European organizations have been known to the CIA for many decades and covertly expanded on.
skip a little bit here. If he skips and goes through his intro, I may. Let's see.
Say goodbye to old,
Definitely
costly
gonna
cable
skip
TV
this as
once
soon
and
as
for
I get
all.
to 3.
This revolutionary invention gives you access to...
Religion alleges that
That's
we
good.
all share a common spiritual source, and therefore, everything is linked, directly or indirectly, to everything else. Quantum physics seems to agree, and indicates that everything is connected through a phenomena called quantum entanglement. While I'm not a physicist or a religious guru, I am an anthropologist, compelled to pay attention to the ancient axioms laid forth by our ancestors. Know thyself. The philosopher Rumi once said, "You're not a drop in the ocean, you're the entire ocean in a drop." I always took this quote to mean that while we all have our own unique identity, we're also all connected, beyond our individual experiences, but part of something much larger, solitary aspects of the divine. I'm also reminded of Carl Jung's work regarding the collective unconscious, which also allegedly unites us all in an intimate psychic way, bordering on the field of parapsychology. The term parapsychology was coined in 1889 by German philosopher Max de Soi, and is generally defined as the study of paranormal and psychic phenomena that can't be explained by scientific laws or data. The field focuses on investigating the existence and nature of these experiences and abilities, such as ESP, extrasensory perception, the ability to gain knowledge about other people's thoughts or future events through channels outside of the 5 senses, such as telepathy and clairvoyance, and psychokinesis, which is the physical phenomena such as levitation of objects or bending metal, and other paranormal phenomena such as near-death or out-of-body experiences, including astral travel or remote viewing, lucid dreaming, and synchronicity, which is the occurrence of meaningful coincidences which appear significantly related but have no discernible causal connection. In mystery schools and secret societies, techniques have been used for centuries which claim to heighten a person's psychic aptitude, facilitating more frequent occurrences of phenomena such as synchronicity, where a person can manifest their goals and desires through an unconscious coordination with other people and events, which bring about a desired result. This is traditionally known as magic or spiritual alchemy, but after the era of occult scientific research of the 19th and early 20th century, particularly by German sects such as the Vril Society,
We're gonna get into this because he's actually gonna show some really old videos of of telekinesis being captured and going, and how this was done in the government, how they were doing it and technology they come up to. But I just had to say, he went into spiritual alchemy. It has been a big enhancement to me in the last 3 months, 2.5, going on 3 months now, of organizing and putting together things in a higher realm instead of all over the place, of spiritual revelation here, revelation there. And we see chaos on the lower level, and then our spirituality, come on, conscious community, you got chaos too, because nobody's in unity, right? So what I'm saying is this spiritual alchemy is transmutation of self by a unification. And that's why it's made big differences, but we'll get into it. We got some good stuff coming on this video. Just be a little patient. But he's saying great stuff.
and by extension the National Socialist Party of Germany, occult metaphysics started to yield more consistent scientific results. Analytical psychologist Carl Jung used the term synchronicity to describe events that coincide in time and appear meaningfully related despite lacking a clear, discoverable causal connection. Jung held that this was a healthy function of the mind, or the collective unconscious, which correlated with the work of other researchers before him. Born in 1734, Dr. Franz Mesmer was a German physician that theorized the existence of a process of natural energy transference occurring between all life called animal magnetism, later referred to as mesmerism. I covered the work of Dr. Mesmer in a video, which I'll leave a link to in the description. Today, the word mesmerism generally functions as a synonym for hypnosis, but there are occult lines of research which, unlike modern hypnosis, focused on an invisible bioelectromagnetic energy that could be harnessed and used to influence people. In the East, this vital energy is known as chi, in India as prana, and in Germanic alchemical sects as vril. The CIA was also aware of the Soviet Union conducting research into psychic energy and methods of harnessing and extracting it for use in healing or possibly potentially weaponized. In this 1975 declassified document from the US Department of Defense called Soviet and Czechoslovakian Parapsychology Research, it says, quote, psychotronic generators, also called Pavlita generators after the inventor, are small devices said to be capable of drawing biological energy from humans. The energy is accumulated and stored for future use.
I just want to add something to that. We're looking at this in the late 50s, in the 50s after World War II. This is 60-something years ago. I mean, you start going 59, 60, 58, that's older than me. That's saying a lot, right? I was born in 62, in case you're wondering. So if you can do the math, you know what I am. But so think about when we talk about now having Neuralink. Because what he just mentioned was they had a technology then they were working on to extract the psychic to heal, which I said earlier when I ranted a little bit about using it for healing, and then even for of course, the other side of, the war or hurting somebody. You're going to even see the technology.
Once charged with human energy, the generators can do some of the things a psychic subject can do, but, according to the inventor, Robert Pavlita, can be charged by individuals possessing no psychic ability. The concept of a man as a source of unusual energy dates back at least as far as the ancient Chinese and Hindu teachings, in which it was called vital energy or prana. Between the 18th...
Which we did here. I did a video with Dynamo Jack showing you how he used it through himself, a very organic way to heal people, and he even lit paper on fire with his hands, right? You guys remember that? That was a few months ago. We did the chi, with Dynamo Jack.
In 20th centuries, it was called various things. Animal magnetism, odic force, motor force, N-rays, etheric force, etc., by rediscoverers of its existence. In contemporary Soviet and Czechoslovakian parapsychology, this energy is called bioplasmic or psychotronic energy. The Czechoslovakian rediscovery of biological energy is credited to Robert Pavlita, an inventor and businessman from Prague who began work on his devices over 30 years ago. Pavlita's generators can be charged by direct contact, for example, rubbing or touching to the temporal region of the head, or by visually directing mental concentration upon them from a distance. The nature of the energy stored is still not understood, but over the years, a number of observations about its effects have been reported. It can be reflected, refracted, polarized, and combined with other forms of energy. It creates effects similar to magnetism, heat, electricity, and luminous radiation, but is itself none of these.
Why did Amazon send me $20,000? Because I use Amazon AI. I'm going to show you a way.
In Russia, a belief in psychic healing is deeply rooted. The healer is believed to be capable of transferring chi or vril energy into the body of a sick person. Alexei Krivolovtov has long been revered as one of Russia's most powerful energetic healers in modern Russian history. He was convinced that the powers of faith and mind were limitless, and that his ritual laying on of hands, similar to Reiki, imbued his patients with a curative psychic force. His powers to heal were repeatedly tested and accepted by Soviet scientists. The transfer of psychic energy has always been of consuming interest to Russian parapsychologists. In this controlled experiment at the University of Leningrad, A psychic apparently lights a lamp by directing his power towards a device which registers bioelectromagnetic energy. For the Russian neurophysiologist that developed the experiment, the applied use of psychic energy is a plain and proven fact. Many Russian scientists agree, and in the early 1970s began creating devices to harness psychic power. They are known as psychotronic generators, instruments designed to capture and accumulate psychic energy and then release it on command. It's believed that psychotronic generators form a union between mind and matter, transforming human psychic power into a practical and controllable resource. In theory, the power originates from somewhere inside the brain and is transmitted most effectively directly through the eyes. Once accumulated and concentrated through a psychic generator, the power can be released and used for a multitude of purposes. The field of psychotronics remains vital until this day. Russian parapsychologists have developed more advanced and sophisticated devices, psychotronic generators which, in theory at least, have the power to heal or harm.
Ну, судя по тому, как идут разговоры,
A psychotronic generator can influence a whole crowd of people. It can affect a person's psyche, memory, or attention span. A psychotronic device can cause physical fatigue, disorientation, and even alter a person's behavior.
Many Soviet defectors have claimed that the KGB and military conducted intensive secret research to harness psychotronic power as a weapon of mass mind control and psychic warfare. In the Cold War competition to tip the balance of power, elements in the Soviet defense establishment looked to parapsychology as a source of exotic weapons for which Western powers were unprepared. A classified U.S. intelligence report stated, many scientists, U.S. and Soviet, feel that parapsychology can be harnessed to create conditions where one can alter or manipulate the minds of others. Dr. Nikolai Krokov, a former KGB agent who defected to the West, was hired by the CIA in 1976 to investigate and report on secret parapsychological research in the Soviet Union. He uncovered more than 20 secret laboratories staffed by hundreds of top scientists and technicians. Research included well-funded experiments in negative telepathy and mind control, as well as investigation into the biophysics of mind-to-mind communication. Psychotronic generators were developed and tested, the hearts of lab animals.
So they were really looking at, when you looked at it, what he's talking about. Mind to mind, that's telepathy, telekinesis, all these different abilities we have that we need to make available to her, and that's why it's availability. When we have the abilities and it's not available to us yet, it's not, but the process is there and the availability is there. It needs to be turned on. But see, they're using it. You can see, here we go, the governments, the Russian government at this time using it. Don't think that over here they ain't dancing the dance too. Come on now. We know what we're dealing with and where we're at and what we do and what we know, right? You should. This is powerful. That's what I'm saying. The unity of us, having unity consciousness within ourselves, because we can only do it within ourselves, but then it will create the harmony into the spaces of unity with others, right? As you become less dense. That's funny to say that because we use dense for somebody not being smart, but dense is a type of reality. We live in the lower reality. So this is very good. I'm not going to keep talking. This is about Robert here bringing out this, but this is going to get interesting.
Almost were stopped telepathically, and prison inmates were used in attempts to paralyze sections of their spinal cords through concentrated psychic power. The sinister sector of psychic power as a destructive and harmful weapon is still present in Russia today. This government laboratory in Moscow manufactures psychotronic generators, the type of equipment many believe have already been covertly employed by military intelligence.
Министерство обороны СССР, КГБ,
The Ministry of Defense, the KGB, and other organizations did build psychotronic generators. I know that over $500 million rubles were spent on developing psychotronic equipment.
Вот теперь возникает вопрос,
Which brings up the question,
где
where are all these devices?
Mm-hmm.
During the attempted coup of 1991, these psychotronic generators may well have been used by the military.
Would you answer one question to help Donald Trump? Well, we're doing a
Sorry about
100%
that.
anonymous online.
Russia's president, Boris Yeltsin, was reportedly the target of psychotronic attack.
I had a very funny request from a guy who is in
Isn't he
charge
the
of
president or
military
the prime
lab
minister?
in the Ukraine, and he told me, this guy, that there would be an attempt on Yeltsin's life, using a special generator which could damage Mr. Yeltsin's health and probably kill him. And he said we developed some kind of equipment which can hold someone's heart at a distance by command. For the first time in my life, I took it seriously.
President Yeltsin did indeed suffer a heart attack shortly after the coup. Could it have been caused by a psychotronic generator? A weapon for which his fragile government had no defense. A weapon which parapsychologists believe can be used to affect an entire population.
That's
There
what I
are
was
those who now
thinking.
perceive a grave and terrible threat from psychic warfare. The notion may stretch the imagination, but U.S. intelligence has estimated that the Kremlin spent $30 million a year on psychic warfare research.
While there is still some skepticism that the KGB or other governments have successfully weaponized psychic powers, the evidence that such occult phenomena exists is harder to refute. One example is Olivina Gradova, a psychic renowned for her paranormal ability. In Russia, such people are known as extrasensors, and she discovered her extrasensory powers more than 25 years before this was filmed, when she learned that she could control the movements of a metal tube without touching it. Her ability is called telekinesis, and her demonstrations were witnessed and documented by numerous Russian scientists and psychic researchers. While many regard her powers as astounding and unique, skeptics suggest that her talents may simply be due to the effects of static electricity. That said, she believed that electrostatic forces merely augment her psychic powers.
The lightest object that I could move was an aluminum cigar tube that weighed 7 grams. As I developed my ability, I could move objects up to 200 grams. Physicists and other specialists said that it will be impossible to move an object this heavy with just pure electrostatic energy.
She was given an ordinary cigarette to demonstrate her power. In trying to understand the nature of her ability, researchers applied a Russian invention believed to record human auras, a technique called Kirlian photography.
They were interesting experiments made.
What he just said, that Kirlian photography, I went to one of our guests we had here, Vina, actually is a Reiki healer, and she actually has that where she could take a picture and you could see the auras of yourself through when you have a Reiki session. She can actually do that, and then has the system that processes which colors stand out on you. But anyways, that photography was available. I mean, I've actually had it.
By physicists using Kirlian photography. And they took pictures of my fingers before I began to work, and then again after I finished, and the photographs of the fingers were absolutely different.
Exactly what accounts for the difference she does not know, but she says to perform telekinesis, she must gather and concentrate what feels like a pulsating bioenergy in her body. While directing that energy onto an object, she senses physical changes.
When I'm doing this, I feel my fingers are getting thicker and heavier. And then I'm able to move objects.
As you see, she went to bigger
She
objects.
believes her power is derived from a focused psychic energy, a power that she has always accepted as a natural, energetic endowment.
I believe some people are simply born with more psychic energy. Above all, I think most of the people who have these special kinds of energies are in Russia.
This is the world's first reusable cotton swab. It can remove up to 10 times more earwax. Latest studies show that traditional
Maybe
cotton
I have
swabs...
to invest in...
This is Russia's most famous psychic, a housewife and mother of 3, named Nina Kolodina. Her telekinetic powers seemed awesome and astounded all who saw them. Though only a few rare film clips still survive, Kolodina was by far the most studied and documented psychic subject in Russian history. She was seen by many as living proof that psychic powers were unquestionably real. She discovered her powers at the age of 33. Home movies made by her husband at their home documented Kolodina's earliest efforts at telekinetic movement. In this makeshift experiment, a glass tube covered by a flower vase was the focus of her powers. With a sudden, intensified effort, it moved. Later demonstrations included several objects at once.
Excuse me, guys.
Her uncommon abilities quickly drew the attention of Soviet researchers. Over 40 top scientists, including 2 Nobel laureates, studied Kolodina's, searching for an explanation of her seemingly supernatural powers. Time and time again, she submitted herself to grueling demonstrations of telekinesis. Here, after 2 hours of trying, she made a compass needle move.
Wow.
When she exerted even greater effort, the compass itself was affected. She reported that just before an object moved, she felt a sharp pain in her spine. Then her vision blurred, and she became dizzy. Medical tests showed that her blood pressure rose dangerously. Her heart reached up to 240 beats per minute. Every physical measure revealed a profound stress reaction.
Wow.
I first met Kulagina in 1968. And after that, I observed her telekinesis thousands of times. Telekinesis was not her only gift. She had many psychic abilities.
Among Kulagina's other powers was a mysterious ability to radiate burning heat from her hands. Experiments confirmed what was called her biothermal effect, yet an explanation for these powers eluded the researchers. A visiting foreign reporter once tested Kulagina's burning powers firsthand. In this demonstration, broadcast over Soviet television, Kulagina generated heat so intense it produced a bright red burn mark on the correspondent's neck. Others would have similar experiences. Dr. Benson Herbert, the noted British parapsychologist, reported suffering an intolerable sensation of heat on his arm from the touch of Collagena's hand.
If you're not making $158,000 per year, but you'd like to, I strongly...
Clairvoyance, the ability to see objects or events beyond physical vision, was yet another psychic power Collagena possessed. Of her many demonstrations, this is the only film record.
Star. No, what else? Okay, just a minute. Triangle and 2. 25 and 88. No, 52 and 88. 69, empty, and 6.
Collagena exhibited such a broad range of extrasensory powers, including levitation, that she ultimately became the subject of controversy.
In the early 1960s, a new psychic phenomena sparked the interest of the Russian public and made headlines throughout the Soviet Union, which was hailed by many scientists as the discovery of a genuine sixth sense. A single woman's ability to see and read through her skin was the cause of this sudden excitement. Her name was Rosa Kuleshova, and she became a psychic sensation. Scientists described her apparent ability as a physiological mechanism in which the senses of touch and vision are fused. While blindfolded, Kuleshova could read and see colors and recognize photographs. Her incredible powers of skin sight extended even to her feet. Almost overnight, these paranormal abilities triggered a research effort of tremendous dimensions involving scientists and test subjects throughout Russia. At scientific institutes in at least 6 Russian cities, tests with thousands of volunteers revealed that there were many who could sense colors, words, or images directly through their skin.
In this experiment, the subject attempts to determine which of several metal envelopes contains the color red.
Начали. Проверим.
The word krasny means red, and the subject's response will prove to be correct. Yet despite years of intensive study, the true nature of this remarkable phenomenon has remained a riddle of science.
At the University of Leningrad, Dr. Pavlova is searching for evidence of the physical and biological nature of telepathy.
We have demonstrated that telepathy exists, even though our subjects don't show it every time we test them. Most probably every person is capable of telepathy, but nature is hiding it from us. So now the question becomes, how can we find what nature has hidden?
One researcher that claimed to have discovered what nature has hidden was Dr. Wilhelm Reich, an Austrian doctor who authored a book in 1925 titled The Function of the Orgasm, and coined the term orgone, from the same etymological root, which he claimed was an energetic life force energy, similar to chi or prana, which could be harnessed and used to heal or amplify dormant psychic abilities. This line of study was also known to many occult Germanic secret societies, which studied and practiced esoteric techniques passed down since antiquity, refined in organizations such as the Thule and Vril Society, but also part of the higher initiatory levels of the Freemasons, Rosicrucians, Knights Templar, certain sects of Islamic mysticism such as Sufi orders, Greek and Egyptian mystery schools, Hermeticism,
it's all
Gnostic
occultic knowledge,
sects such as the Cathars and Essenes, Taoist and Tantric monasteries, Chaldean and Mithraic cults, which all ultimately lead back to the Magi, or Aryan magicians, who, according to secret societies, originally disseminated the esoteric techniques which later emerged as the original Kabbalah inner alchemy, and vril, which I will cover in depth in a future episode. My name is Robert Sepp.
We'll take a break from Robert at the end. This is amazing, though, if you really start looking at it in a very powerful way, because they're trying to find it, right, in God. Trying to find it in a very deep way, right? And definitely so you guys have a great day. Okay, finally we got out because I hit it and I was like, why is this not working right? So it's very slow today, not responding here with the technology, right? I thought I had lost that video and I'd have to do it over because has happened. And I did hit the button for, not sharing, and the not share didn't go off. So I got rid of it from the top in the video, and then I was like, I was getting ready to start over, and it went back to here, which is where we needed to be. I don't want to do that again because that was great information. Everything that these governments are on it. They're trying to find out. And my thing is, why aren't they doing it? Because they haven't paid the price. You have. So that's why they always want to harness from us that don't know, because if you remember in the video, it said they were able to get this information or this energetic field where people didn't even have the abilities awakened in them or activated in them yet. But these abilities and activation of them are there for us to use, but we have to activate them. Definitely activation is a part of everything that you have to do spiritually, because a lot of our DNA has been dormant through programming, through restructuring of it. All in that which is above that I just mentioned, right? So let me see something, because something's not popping up here the way I want us to pop up here. But you guys have a great day.